Tell me all about Frankie.
Oh, there's like so much to say. So yeah, so Frankie's number 3. He has 2 older siblings. He has Jack, who's 12, and Carolina, who's 9.
Carolina, tell me all about your brother Frankie.
So, my brother Frankie, he is disabled. He can't speak, walk, or talk. He loves food, and his favorite cartoon is Bluey. And yeah, he's like stuck between his favorite colors is either yellow or orange.
What's it like to have a brother who's disabled?
It's actually pretty hard. I mean, and the thing is that since he doesn't talk, we don't know what he wants.
Tell me all about your brother.
We sleep in the same room, and he's one of my best roommates yet. He's one of my best friends and a great member of the family.
He is 7. He was born on May 15th, 2017. And it's actually his brother's 5th birthday. And his brother is so kind to share his birthday with him. So we found out about Frankie's hydrocephalus at his anatomy scan, and the doctors wanted to deliver him at exactly 37 weeks, and that day happened to be his brother's birthday. So I went home and talked to Jack, and I was like, you know, it's up to you. If you want, I could probably try to convince the doctors to do it a day earlier, a day later. And he was like, no, it'll be cool to share a birthday with my brother. So Jack and Frankie have the same birthday, May 15th.
He was a birthday present for me when I was 5 years old.
What is it like to be Frankie's dad?
It's a privilege. You know, Frankie is like the best thing that ever happened to me. You know, he changed my whole perspective on life and what I thought was important. And he totally changed my world upside down. But only for the better, you know? It's all right. Will you want to do more bubbles? Want to do more bubbles?
Tell me about the bubbles and how it calms him down.
So the bubbles, I don't know where the bubbles, what really drove the bubbles. He always liked, it's always like trial and error with him, right? Seeing what he likes and what he doesn't like. So bubbles were something that always worked.
When I first found out about Frankie, I mean, I was scared. I was actually an OBGYN at the time, and you know, I thought it was like, oh, my 3rd baby, we're just gonna be fine. And then, you know, found out he had, you know, severe hydrocephalus.
What is hydrocephalus?
So hydrocephalus is water on the brain. It can be due to a genetic condition, or it can be due to something called aqueductal stenosis, which is what Frankie has. It's where everyone has fluid that kind of bathes their brain and brings glucose and molecules like to your brain, and then, you know, an oxygen, and then takes away some of the waste, and it kind of flushes through your system. And when essentially the downspout or the drain coming out gets blocked, fluid can build up in the brain. And the problem with that is that, you know, especially in utero, as the brain's developing, it really hinders the development and prevents the brain from growing properly. This was so severe. He was actually born with an adult-sized head because the fluid just continued to expand his head. And so, you know, in talking with the neurosurgeon, he was like, he'll grow into it. He'll probably still have a pretty big adult-sized head, but, you know, he'll grow into it.
How would you describe the shape of his skull?
Oblong. A lot of it too was because when he was born, he couldn't really move his head that much. So he would lay kind of in this position that kind of flattened the back of his head. And for some children, you know, they can put on a helmet to kind of help correct that shape. But for him, because his head was not growing, he wasn't going to grow into that round shape. And so a helmet really wasn't super helpful for him. There is corrective surgery that can be done, but just given, you know, all that he's been through, and, you know, we elected essentially not to do that for him. Also because the surgery is kind of risky to reshape the skull and could cause additional brain damage.
What's something others can do, maybe in your community, to be more inclusive of Frankie?
You know, it's hard. I think you just have to bring that compassion and empathy, and I I don't know. I don't really know, you know. That's a hard question for me because I think, you know, I think it's just like anything. Be kind and be compassionate and empathetic, and usually that shines through. And sometimes that means a lot, especially to the families.
Hey, Frankie. I'd love to play with some toys with you. I see you have many cool toys over here. I like this one right here. Rawr.
Yeah, it's tough, you know, because I don't think people know what to say, you know, because with his appearance and how he doesn't communicate and he's in a wheelchair, I think sometimes it can be overwhelming. So I never really expect a lot out of people because I know it can be difficult, you know. So I come with that too, compassion and grace, and I don't, you know, I treat it like I don't know what I would do, you know, in a situation like that.
Look at this. We have so many cool toys. Hi, Frankie.
He's wrestling with you.
Oh, you were wrestling? Rawr. I got you. Do you have a favorite memory with Frankie?
I remember one time, my dad, he was like, it was like we were watching WrestleMania on the TV because my dad's a big WrestleMania fan, and he said, do you want to wrestle me? And I was like, sure. And then we were like doing overloads, and like Frankie was giggling and laughing, and then my dad pretended to wrestle him, and it was just all so great.
So it's okay to like kind of, not be rough, but like have a little fun?
Yeah, absolutely. He loves that. Yeah.
Uh-oh, I'm gonna get you. Rawr. Oh yeah, Frankie, it's on. Ready? 1, 2, 3, boom! You see Stim a lot, like clap his hands and maybe shake his head?
Yeah, he does a lot of head banging, and he stims a lot. He also bites his hands, you know. It's strange. It's not strange, but it's a lot of self-harming behavior, and I think that's a little difficult sometimes to watch.
How do you cope with that as a parent?
I try to put him in a safe place, and then make sure he's okay, and then I just usually take a deep breath because it does pass. It's all temporary. You know, you feel bad for him, and sometimes you feel bad for yourself. This is happening to you, but you take a deep breath, and you know, everything's temporary.
Do you ever teach your friends at school about Frankie?
Yeah, actually I tell some of my friends about Frankie. Usually he's like one of the first people I talk about before someone comes to my house or something, or if like I'm on a call with someone.
What do you tell them?
Tell them that Frankie's my little brother, and at birth he had like a lot of bad things. He said he had to take a lot of bad shots, and he had to take a lot of surgeries and stuff. But
Frankie was getting a little overwhelmed, so we gave him a break. But you said that his tooth has been hurting him?
oh yeah. Actually, for the past week, he's like been really crying a lot, trying to get like a lot of like making everyone know he's been banging his head a lot and stuff like that. And we had no idea why. We just thought he was really cranky. But then this Sunday, last Sunday I guess, so he was at 4 a.m. He like started to cry again, go act out. Then they noticed a tooth was missing, and he probably swallowed it, I think.
It sounds like sometimes Frankie communicates through actions and crying because he can't use words yet. Yeah, he can't use words yet. He's been getting really close to actually using words, which is really nice. But he can't fully talk. He can't like fully talk in like complete sentences or normal sentences yet. Sometimes he'll like, and because he has autistic tendencies too, sometimes he'll yell and scream and things like that. I feel like I wish folks were like sometimes more understanding of that as well, and you know, not take it so personally if like you're in a theater and he like screams or yells. I know that sometimes, you know, that can draw attention to him. I tend to be more like, this is how he is. We try not to make it too disruptive for other people, but at the same time, I would hope people would be more inclusive and accepting of people like him as well. What's the most important thing for other people to know about Frankie?
I guess just, I really don't want people to be mean to him. Sometimes when we go in public, there's usually kids seeing him. And like I get nervous that they're gonna bully him, but it's like hard and stuff.
How do you hope other children treat Frankie?
I hope they treat him nice, they'll give him hugs, and like they'll treat him nice, maybe become his friends and stuff.
If somebody wants to be Frankie's friend, what should they do?
They should ask him, I guess.
If somebody sees Frankie for the first time, what do you hope they think?
I hope they think that he's a nice kid, because he is.
Yeah. Oh, you giving kisses? That's very nice.
Mwah, mwah, mwah. Mwah, 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 mwah. Hi, Frankie. Big wrestle. Nice to meet you.
Hugs.
Thank you for the hug. You want a hug? Ah!
That's a good boy. Whoop, careful. Watch your head, bud.
Is balance difficult for him?
That's really the thing. He's very strong. He doesn't have weakness, but it is hard for him sometimes to balance. And I think that's really why he can't walk, is that he really, you don't realize how much coordination it really takes to walk, to stand and to walk and to put like one foot in front of the other. It's so much coordination. I don't think I mean, silly, I'm a physician. I don't think I really realized it until I had a son, like him. But he reminds me like of Pinocchio, is the best way I could describe it. He just has trouble coordinating his movements. But like I said, he does enjoy to play and hang out and have fun with people.
Hey, Frankie. It's nice to meet you. I'm really happy we get to spend some time together.
Yay. Oh, that's so nice.
Thank you for the hug.
That's so nice.
You're a really cool person. I'm having so much fun hanging out with you, being your friend. You're super social. You're a fun kid. Oh, thank you. When was Frankie diagnosed?
So Frankie was diagnosed at 22 weeks.
He was diagnosed with hydrocephalus at that point?
Yeah.
Had you ever heard of it?
No. I knew it was Latin, so I knew it wasn't a good thing. No, I had no idea. My mom was a special ed teacher, and I always had that in the back of my head, like if I had a special needs child, what it would be like. So I remember getting those results and then thinking everything was going to be okay.
What's it like to be Frankie's Nana?
It is the best thing ever. I mean, we go to music therapy every Wednesday. We have fun. I was a special ed teacher, so we worked on Frankie with his sensory skills, like he couldn't chew on things. We worked on crawling. We sing songs together. And his other grandma, she's his favorite. She makes meatballs. He loves grandma's meatballs, right? So it's been a blast. I mean, it's a learning experience, but he has definitely made our lives so much better. You're just so much more humble, and you appreciate everything. Like any little, milestone, the regular general ed kids are like, oh, but when he can do it, it's just amazing. But he just brings so much joy. And yeah, we really, really love him. We're very happy he's here.
Has Frankie hit any milestones lately?
I'm trying to think. Yeah, I mean, he's doing really well. Going to the bathroom by himself on the toilet, that was big. And I feel like he's getting more expressive with his reactions, so it kind of makes it so even though he doesn't actually communicate verbally, his facial expressions and his body language is so much improved. He's also been more affectionate as well, so I know those aren't your traditional milestones, but to me they're everything. I mean, one thing I'm always grateful for, I know he doesn't speak, but he laughs. So, yeah, his laugh is priceless. So, I know when he's happy.
Is that why you're grateful? Because you know he experiences joy?
Yeah.
Well, Frankie's a person, And I think sometimes when kids have disabilities, it's very easy to overlook him. Like even when you come in the house, because he doesn't make eye contact with you or come and, say hello or something. So I think it's really important that you treat him like there's a person inside, and he's not blank inside. So I always tell people, give him a hug, say hello, go right up to his face so he can see you.
Hey. Hi, Frankie. Frankie.
Yeah, I think the hardest part is just be careful because he's heavy. He's like 65 pounds. So that can be a little tough too. I actually go to the gym to like continue to be able to lift him and stuff because he's pretty heavy.
Does he like being picked up?
Sometimes yes, sometimes no.
Okay. So I'll kind of let him just lead the charge.
Exactly.
Like this.
Because
He wanna climb on me, that's fine.
Yeah. Raw, right?
Does he like sensory?
Yeah, he does like music. He loves music.
I think every situation in life has pros and cons. So let's talk about some of the pros and cons. What are the pros of having a brother who has a disability?
The pros are that we don't really actually argue a lot, and we actually get along very well, and he doesn't like steal stuff or like break stuff. He doesn't like try to get into a lot of trouble, and he's actually really nice. I'd say it's nice that he's disabled because it allows me to see that not all people have like the life I do, and not everyone has a fair life when born. And it's really nice to see that. And it's really nice to see that they're still humans too, and they live just normal lives as we do. They just need a little bit more help.
I agree with you. That's a really good point. Are there any complications when it comes to having a brother who has a disability?
He doesn't really communicate as well as like I would say my sister does. And he communicates, as you said before, with like screaming and like physical. Tell
me a little bit about your communication journey with Frankie. What are some things you've tried? What's worked? What hasn't?
So with Frankie, we've tried signing, and he can learn some signs. He knows more, and he knows happy. And of course, no. Shakes his head no. We tried like cards and give choices. So we'll laminate things and point here, pick here. Try to at least have him communicate through choice.
How does Frankie communicate?
Okay, I can teach you one thing. So whenever he finishes his food and he wants more food, we go like, do you want this? And it means like, do you want food? Do you want more food? And like he'll usually do it back, or if he doesn't want it, he'll just keep his hands in. Also, when he claps, that means he's like happy.
My granddaughter said, Nana, what language does he speak? And I thought, that's a pretty brilliant thing to say, because she feels as if he has a language, but what is it? And I thought that's pretty smart of her to ask what language does he speak. Because he does speak a language, we just don't know it or how to access it or retrieve it. Like right now he's crying because something's bothering him and we don't know if he's tired or if it's food, so we're just trying to, come up with a solution, to figure out like a charting almost so a pattern will emerge. But there's always hope, there's always tomorrow, there's always another day, and like never give up on your kids.
Does Frankie have a lot of friends at his school, or?
He has other special needs children that he plays with, but that is like one of the goals is to get them to like interact with each other. So, hey, bud. Yay!
Woo!
Yay!
You're doing so good, Frankie.
Yay!
I'm having so much fun hanging out with you. If another kid sees Frankie out at a park or wherever you guys might go publicly and goes up to their parents and asks questions, what do you hope the parents do?
I hope the parents just say, what I would always say is, everybody's different and every situation's unique, and that's their situation, everybody has different situations. And once again, it's like, it's hard, so whatever they say and, however they do it, I'm sure they were doing it with the best intentions, so, So yeah, whatever, however they need to do it to get it through that he's different, that's fine.
Is there anything else you want people to know about Frankie?
That he's confident and brave, and he really doesn't care what people think about it. I just don't want people making fun of him, and yeah.
What do you hope people say when they meet your brother for the first time?
I hope they say he's so beautiful, because he is, and so nice and confident. So yeah.
When somebody finishes watching this interview, what do you hope they remember most from it?
That no matter the circumstance you're in, you can always choose to be positive about it, and for all the sad times, there's a lot more happier times.
Is there anything else you want people to know?
I'd say, hey, don't always judge anyone by their cover. They could be disabled or not, but they could always be a nice person inside.